This is section 4.3. We're looking at multiplication and division of fractions. To multiply fractions, write the product of the numerators over the product of the denominators, and then simplify the resulting fraction if possible. So we are going to multiply across the numerators and across the denominators. What fraction is 1/2 of 1/4? And we can see from this drawing that 1/2 of 1/4 is equal to 1/8. So to multiply fractions, again, we're going to multiply across the numerators and across the denominators. So going across the top, 2 times 4 is 8, and across the bottom, we have 35. Multiply these fractions, so we're going to go across the top and we have 20, and when we multiply across the bottom we have 420, and then we're going to use the skills we learned previously to reduce the fraction. We're dividing 10 from numerator and denominator, and then we're further dividing both numerator and denominator by 2 to get 1/21. So here, when we multiply across the numerators, we have 5 times x times 2, and across the denominators we have 7, and I can break 15 into 3 times 5 times x. And then I'm going to divide out common factors. 5 divided by 5 cancel, and x divided by x cancel, and this leaves me with 2/21. Again, multiplying across the top, I have 2 times a times a times b times b times b, and across the denominators 3 times b times a. And now I'm going to divide out common factors. So I have a divided by a, which is 1, b divided by b, which is 1. So I'm left in the numerator with 2ab squared, and in the denominator I have 3. Next, we're looking at the area of a triangle, and the formula is 1/2 BH. So that means we're going to multiply 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. So here's the base, and the height is always perpendicular to the base. And so the area of this triangle will be 1/2 times the base 6 times the height, which is 4. So multiplying across the numerators, I have 24 divided by 2, and so I have 12, and meters times meters is square meters. The reciprocal of numbers. 2 numbers whose product is 1 are said to be reciprocals of each other. So if you look at 3/8 and 8/3, if I multiply these together, I get a product of 1, and that tells me that 3/8 and 8/3 are reciprocals. So to find the reciprocal of a number, we can interchange the numerator and denominator of the fraction. So if I want to find the reciprocal of a over b, it will be b over a. So the reciprocal of 2/5 will be 5/2. The reciprocal of 1/9 will be 9 over 1, or just 9. And the reciprocal of 5, recognizing that 5 is 5 over 1, its reciprocal is 1 over 5. The reciprocal of 0, the number 0 has no reciprocal because 1 over 0 is undefined. There is no number that I can multiply 0 by and get 1, so it has no reciprocal. To divide fractions, we are going to keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and take the reciprocal of the divisor, and you can think of this mnemonic: keep, change, and flip. Dividing fractions is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. So I'm going to keep 2/5. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I am going to invert or flip the second fraction, so I have 4/7. And now I use the multiplication rules, going across the top, going across the bottom. So you multiply numerators and you multiply denominators. So once again, I'm going to keep the first fraction, change to multiplication. When you flip a negative, the negative sign stays on top or out to the side. The whole fraction is negative. And I'm going to multiply across the top. And I'm writing the prime factorization, and I'm doing this because it makes the reducing a little bit easier. And 8 is going to be 2 times 2 times 2. And then I'll divide out common factors. And so I'm left with 5 in the numerator, and 9 times 4 is 36, and I have a negative. Okay, some word problems. A road crew must mow the grassy median along the stretch of highway of I-95. If they can mow 5/8 of a mile in an hour, how long will it take them to mow 15 miles? So we're dividing up 15 miles and seeing how many 5/8 miles are in that. So that is 15 divided by 5/8. Again, we will keep the first fraction and multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction, and our answer is 24 hours. A 9/4 foot length of wire must be cut into equal pieces of lengths that are 3/8 feet long. So how many pieces can be cut? We'll start with the total 9/4, and we'll see how many 3/8 pieces are in 9/4. And we'll again invert and multiply, and the answer is 6. Carson estimates his total cost for college for a year is $12,600. Financial aid will pay 2/3 of the cost. So when you find a fraction of a number, that's a multiplication. So we're going to be multiplying, and 2/3 of 12,600 is equal to $8,400, and the financial aid will pay $8,400. If he's going to pay the rest, then he's going to be paying 1/3, or we can just subtract the total amount minus the amount financial aid is paying, and he'll still owe $4,200. And you have some skill practice problems to try on paper now.